Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe or follow no matter where you're listening. It is that time of year, and the holiday spirit or spirits are right around us. Fellas, what did you think of the Christmas Carol? Wait a minute, the Muppets Christmas Carol.
It was a pretty good jaunt getting to go down on a holiday adventure with Hoagie and the Muppets
Okay.
as they battle a stuffed shark. It was amazing.
Yeah, this is the first real Muppets thing that I've actually seen aside from like the Muppet Babies on Nick Jr.
Nice.
This was kind of fun.
I'm sure you guys have like your holiday pick, whatever you go to. This is one of mine. There's just something incredibly wholesome about this movie, and yes, I am watching this with a huge pair of rose-tinted glasses.
I'll tell you right now, I actually don't have my holiday picks because I myself am an Ebenezer Scrooge. Screw Christmas, and I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Screw Christmas.
Insert humbug.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't, I would say, one of my go-tos. I'm more of I know the movie is called Jingle All the Way, but in my house we call it Turbo Man.
Put that cookie down!
But for what it was, I watched it with the family, and I gotta say, anytime the Muppets were Muppeting, it was a blast. Michael Caine's there. He's doing his best, I guess, theatrical performance. I hear a lot of people talk about how great he is in this role, and I'm not trying to shit on Michael Caine in any way, shape, or form, but I would say that the songs here are just a real weak point for me. But the Muppets Muppeting, 100% on board.
Yeah, I think the songs were kind of the weak point for me too, at least most of them. I don't know, there's some fun ones in here, but it is what it is.
Humbug.
Ah, man, it kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Like, these songs, of course I grew up with them, rose-tinted glasses and all, but not only do they serve their purpose, like, setting the mood, like, this one's going to be jovial, like, this one's going to be sad and all that, but, like, it drives the plot, and it does it, like, in a condensed way. Like, these songs are, like, 2 minutes. They come and go. They're not so bad. But, well, I did notice that Disney decided to cut a whole fucking one out. I don't know what that's about. So now there's a whole scene where it's like, oh, man, we're gonna see this guy's heart break in real time. Oh, they just took off. That's the whole scene.
That was a huge mistake on their part, because they're like, okay, we're going to make you regret your bad choices, Ebenezer, and we're going to show the audience. And it's them sitting on a bench for all of 3 seconds. And she's like, it's off, and walks away. That's the end of it. But with the song, there's a 3-minute basic, musical exposition as to why that they just removed.
You son of a bitch.
To Disney's point, that is, in my opinion, probably the worst song, but leaving it out, you're like, what just happened? What are they? Did she leave him? Did she die later?
Exactly. It's just like you said, Brady. 2 blokes, maybe a lady bloke. They're like, business is real bad, hun. And she's like, peace. And you're like, this is a Muppet movie, right? Like, what? There's nothing there. Not even a scene.
Yeah. We used to be a society.
Speaking of a society, there is an entire Muppet society where questions should be asked and answers.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is a movie about Christmas, bro. This is a movie about a man learning his lesson and becoming, more caring and compassionate by the end of it. But all I could focus on is that a puppet shit over there on the ground?
All right.
You mentioned that beforehand. I personally did not notice that, but I had questions of my own. Okay, so there's people Muppets and there are people. Okay, Muppets are playing people, people are playing people. And then there's animal Muppets that are playing people. Sometimes there's just animals too, because there's live horses, and there was a not live, but formerly live turkey. But then there's a Muppet turkey. What are we doing here? There's Muppet grapes and cabbage too? What? I thought that there were rules, Eric.
Did you guys not see how big Hagrid was? That motherfucker was huge.
Come in and know me better.
Is his name actually Hagrid? I don't know who that is. I don't know.
He's the ghost of Christmas presents. That's why he has such a bad memory, because he's in the now. He doesn't remember anything from before.
Well, it helps that he can't remember that as he was walking down the street, he saw a Muppet with its hand inside of a puppet. That's got to be a fucking crime, right?
I think he's gonna have to let that one go because he's a ghost and he can't call the ghost police or or the constable. Sorry, we were very well reminded that this is England.
Yes.
I thought we set a rule of no kink shaming here, right?
Well, there's also, I guess, rules with like how the Muppet world works and converses and exists with the human world, but in reality, it's just a stage play with Muppets. It's all good, guys. It's all solid, I promise.
I don't know. I just have problems, getting my true north when there's no rules going on. But it's okay. We can press on.
Well, listen, the only thing you need to know is when your cabbage is being stolen, they'll let you know.
Okay, but that cabbage was a Muppet. Is that theft or is that kidnapping?
And do they rot? Because Rizzo's like, Mom taught me not to eat food. You know what I mean? Like, so, God damn, what the fuck is going on? Like, shit can go south real quick because do Muppets eat other Muppets? Like, are you only able to eat lettuce Muppets? I'm sorry.
Oh, they have to eat other Muppets.
All these are great questions, but I am way too distracted of how serious Michael Caine has taken this role.
Fair.
For no real reason.
Fair.
Oh yeah, it feels like he's done this before. He has been up on stage at the Globe in London or wherever that actually is. He's put on like a for real performance of this before, and he isn't going to change up his act for some Muppets.
110. This man, every time you see him, he is giving you the most Scroogiest Cheerio commercial fucking performance you've ever seen in your life. And he's abusive to these Muppets, and I think that sells.
For real.
I think it sells it so much better.
We get that immediately too, because he Scrooges into his like place of work, and there's a guy who's just like, Mr. Scrooge, help me out, please don't yell at me. Not only does he not say a single damn word, he just picks him up by the scruff and just tosses him in the cold.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Bro, it's not even by the scruff. He wraps the palm of his hand around the crown of the man's head and just jumps him out the door.
So, for those who don't know, Ebenezer Scrooge is a miserable bastard. He's like a landlord. He owns property and collects mortgages and rent and stuff like that. And yeah, he's a bastard.
He pulls off a great one. Like, even like we do run into like the Marleys when they come back and they use the two heckling old men as the Marleys, which is just great casting. I know they're
Sure.
Muppets, but like every Muppet cast in their role is just like chef's kiss for whatever reason. It's like they just knocked it out of the park.
Oh, and we've got Gonzo as Charles Dickens / the narrator, and he lets you know ahead of time. It's like, kids, the Marley brothers are dead. You're gonna see some stuff going on, so you got to know that. It's important ahead of time. The Marley brothers are dead. Former business partners of Scrooge, and they're dead.
Stop! He's already dead.
Two things there, Chan Man. You
Mhm.
introduced Gonzo as Charles Dickens / the narrator,
Uh-huh.
but you did not give top billing to Rizzo the Rat as himself.
Sure.
Well, as one of 1,700 plus rats, he gets lost in the shuffle. That's okay.
Sure.
And number two, these Muppets playing the Marley Brothers, every time the camera cuts away and cuts back, they have more chains. And by the end of the scene, they're wrapped up in their own chains, and it's fucking brilliant.
It really is. Like, we'll gush in a little bit about the ghost of Christmas future, but I really dig the Marleys in this movie. They're just so fucking spooky.
I've also never really seen a full, like, I've seen parts of, like, Scrooged, and I've picked up on the story, in other bits of pop culture, but I've never really seen A Christmas Carol as a story all the way through. Are the Marley Brothers in other iterations of this, are they like hecklers? Are they supposed to be there for comedic effect? I can't imagine so, right?
No, it's just the one dude.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
there's just
like-
Jacob Marley and the others. There's no Bob Marley to go with them. But aside from that, we've also got Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit. Miss Piggy is his wife. And Mr. Cratchit is I guess, just a regular old worker of Ebenezer Scrooge. Just like a poor little,
Right.
like, hey, please pay me more. My mortgage is going to get foreclosed on.
Scrooge is like, best I can do is Christmas off. Asterisk,
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
You can come in at 8:30 tomorrow. You're welcome.
But sir, we're supposed to have the whole day off. He's like, you're picking my pockets, you son of a fuck.
Did you guys like that whole interaction with Scrooge and his nephew or whatever? Like, I don't know who the actor is. He played the most joyous British guy, I don't know. And he made some great points about the Christmas spirit. And at each turn, Scrooge is like, nuh-uh, no thanks. Get that shit out of here. And they just suplexes him.
Yeah, not Benedict Cumberbatch didn't stand a chance against him.
Oh no, I got him down as 90s Tom Holland.
Love is sillier than a Merry Christmas, he says.
Whatever that means, it's fucking stupid.
Well, we'll never find out
No.
because Disney took out the whole last scene. He just like waited on a bridge with a frosty broad and got all sad.
For what it's worth, the complete version is available, but you have to go into like the extras to get to it. Like you can see the full version, and if you just want to go back and see the, I mean, if you want to do that, because that's exactly what I did. I went back and just saw the extra cut song. So you can do that.
I didn't do fucking shit.
So we were discussing just briefly the workers of Scrooge himself, and Scrooge is a bastard for sure, a curmudgeon old fuck that pelts carolers and tosses out people by their heads. But as soon as he walks out of the store and the rat workers and Cratchit the frog here decide to close up, they make it a blast. They're like catapulting themselves, and just kind of close curtain blinds and using stilts as brooms. It's a lot of fun. But man, oh man, what did he get them for Christmas? Some coal, because he didn't want them to freeze to death so they can come in and do his books.
This guy stinks.
Just barely doesn't want him to freeze to death. They're like, we could really use one more shovel, please. We're getting cold and our fingers aren't working with the quill pens as well.
And then just to show his dominance, he eats one.
I learned this from the shark. Nom, nom, nom. Like,
Oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit.
Yeah.
and he's just suddenly not wet anymore.
I gotta point out, like, this scene with all the rats cleaning up, and you got Bob Cratchity Cratchit cratching around. And even into, like, when they go out into the city and they start just having their, like, joyous walk home, there were plenty of times where I was just, how did they fucking do this? Sure, some, like, little bit of green screen magicry here and there, but, like, I was really impressed by the puppetry, animatronics, or whatever they got in there. I was just like, this is really delightful to watch.
1992 too. So there's some choreography going on here.
A lot of convenient walls, a little bit of green screen magic. Jim Henson's Creature Factory is never going to let you down. I mean, I've seen so many movies with his name attached, and it provided such a sense of whimsy for our childhood that I think that today's age is missing. I would love to see a resurgence of this type of just love and care for the craft, to have a medium to find success again.
Meh.
All right, it's gone. See you later.
Sorry, told you I'm the Scrooge. Bah humbug. Meh.
And just like that, Jim Henson died.
Oh God!
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
They put his name at the beginning
Uh,
in memory of Jim Henson. Also, Chandler for killing him is in parentheses right there.
Yes, it's on the fucking tombstone. I scraped the snow away.
I promise I didn't do it.
Humbug.
Oh, we skipped over old Beaker and Honeydew as the charity collectors coming in trying to collect money for the poor. We forgot about that little scene, and he's just like, yeah, go tell them to fuck off.
It's Bunsen and Beaker.
Is that something? Who the fuck is Honeydew?
Future Eric add mysterious music and don't address the question.
Yeah.
Hold on! I looked it up. His name is Bunsen Honeydew. His last name is Honeydew. Now that we got that settled.
They roll in, they're like, hey Scrooge, can you give us some money? We work for a charity. Please be a good person and give us money. And of course, being the heel that he is, Scrooge picks them up with his cold fucking hands, coconuts them, and discards them.
Yeah. Christmas, get money.
Old nephew gives him a quarter or a nickel or a shilling or whatever they're using back then. Here's 2 pence. Go buy yourself a prostitute.
He goes home to his dingy fucking hovel with these sweet ass curtains and this sweet ass blanket. That's the only warmth that he ever felt. Wink, wink, says the prostitute Muppet. Yeah, there's a fucking prostitute Muppet.
Yep, that gets dropped. Yep, it's the only warmth he ever felt because he wouldn't get no pussy.
like his digs are like pretty shitty, whatever, very bare bones, but like his robe, ooh, something about that fucking robe, that's money.
I commented on that robe while I was watching it. I was like, I need that robe. I need a robe like that. It's nice. It's like a smoker's robe. I wouldn't smoke in it though.
He was very upset when he attacked it in the dark.
He starts seeing the Marleys and the doorknobs and starts seeing ghouls and stuff everywhere, and then they finally pop up, and it's like, whoa.
He has an explanation for this, and it made me crack the fuck up. He's like, y'all ain't
Oh,
real.
yeah.
I got a fart. That's what you are. You're just a condensed fart making me see things.
Turns out old Scrooge, when backed into a corner, is his most witty. Like, he's like, I heard that like hallucinations are because of an upset stomach. Yes, there's more of gravy than of grave of you. And that line just, I love it. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Well, he's in there, like, all he's eating is, like, big chunk of that bread that you get from Outback Steakhouse. That's probably infected with, like, what's the stuff that they synthesize LSD out of? That's probably the explanation for all of it.
He's over there thinking he's smashing a bloomin' onion.
Guys, it's been a while since I've had a bloomin' onion. You think if there was a bloomin' onion in this world, it would be a Muppet?
Ooh, one of them would be.
Yeah, with an Australian accent.
Do you think it would start out as a regular onion and then, like, feel the pain of being split and deep fried?
Or he doesn't become alive until he's finished after the fry.
Yes, that's when he is magically animated because, he is a thing now of importance and he can now deliver exposition and dialogue.
Happy birthday!
Can he feel, like, the petals being pulled out?
This is a stage play about Christmas with Muppets. That's
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to establish the rules here. I don't know what's going on either.
There are no rules. Just like that guy who went into Little Caesars and tried to take his shirt off. Maybe one rule.
Damn.
But yeah, so these Marley brothers are like, hey, Scrooge, you're a bastard. You're going to get haunted by some ghosts tonight, so you better just look out for that.
Because, it was foretold, therefore it must come true. And he gets
Yes.
showed his past life.
Well, let's mention that like the whole Ghost of Christmas Past is, I'm going to say like the Ghost of Christmas Future S tier design. This one, creepy as fuck for no reason. Why is this weird porcelain doll with no visible body or anything? Just like, hello, come with me, please.
It really is like a Harlequin Raggedy Ann doll, isn't it?
Have you guys seen Are You Afraid of the Dark? The episode where the little girl gets trapped in the dollhouse and slowly
100%, yes.
She looks just like that. So the porcelain doll thing is spot on.
I haven't seen that bit personally, but like I can only describe it as like one of those little potato smileys you get in the Frozen section.
Ooh, that's pretty good too. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Guys, I'm hungry.
Hungry for some literature and history because we jump right back into Scrooge's past. Good old Charles Dickens is like, hey, it's a movie. Don't worry about it. Things are going to be weird for a second. By the way, Sam the Eagle's here.
Yep, and he's the headmaster at his school, and he's like, we're going to teach you to be a businessman because that's the American way. It's the British way.
Historically, in the book, that's where Charles Dickens taps on the shoulder of one of the characters in his book to say, hey, psst, it's Britain.
I'm sure that happens, but yeah.
Business.
I just enjoy the little bits of taking the piss that the Muppets do. Just like little reminders like, hey, it's not that serious. There's even a little thing early on just to show the passage of time. They have Mr. Dickens, sitting on this bookshelf. And since time passed, like the shelf just like smashes and they just get squished up against the wall. And I swear one of the heartiest laughs I always get is like Michael Caine, serious as a heart attack acting, just walks past them smashed on the wall and just no word is mentioned towards it.
Gonzo doesn't get enough credit in this, the writing, I suppose. I know he's merely a Muppet, but the fact that as the narrator, he finds a layman way of explaining why they are narrating and what it's for to the viewer. So when you're like 4 or 5 or whatever, you don't understand why they keep talking to you and know what's going on. But as the puppet, they break the fourth wall, speak directly to you, and explain what narration is. That way you can stop asking the question as a child. I thought that was very clever of them.
And then sometimes you get little scenes where Rizzo the rat gives Gonzo a cute little nose kiss. That's my
Ah.
favorite part of the whole movie. It was adorable.
Yeah, it was cute as hell.
And then becomes a rat sickle.
There's a lot of great gags with those fellas. Like, even when they're just getting, like, shoved off the windowsill, which happens, like, 4 times, it just always hits.
They're always falling from heights. Meanwhile, with the ghost of Christmas past, we're skipping over to old Fozziwig's Christmas party, which is great, by the way. Fozziwig, Fozzie Bear, perfect.
I'm telling you, the casting, or the Muppet casting, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This is where Scrooge meets his, I don't know how to say this, doesn't end up being his wife. This is where Scrooge meets Belle.
Yeah.
Right.
At Ozzy Wick's Chicken Choking Emporium.
I thought the party scene was great. You had, like, people with Muppets, Muppets with people, just chaos everywhere, a lot of good commotion. It's just a lot of fun to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted a little bit more animal with the, what are they called? Electric Mayhem and the Party Teeth. What's their name?
Party too. No, it's Electric Mayhem. Yeah, unfortunately, we have to meander outside onto a bridge for a whole 2 seconds before we move on to a whole ass new ghost.
Oh yeah, this is still, all of this during the Christmas past is where, Scrooge is like meets Belle, and then you see what's supposed to be the song where Belle is like, "Hey, business is doing bad. Well, so am I. Deuces, bye."
And you're supposed to feel sorrow for Scrooge, but I have a hard time because as soon as you go, "Oh no, poor Scrooge," it pans to that fucking nightmare-fueled demon baby puppet, and I just like, what the fuck is that?
It just makes it seem like she left because business was bad. Like, it's completely out of his hands, and she's just like, peace, broke bitch.
Maybe if you got rid of that old yee ass haircut you got, you'd get some bitches on your dick.
Yeah.
But there is a song that explains everything. It says, "Hey, you used to love me. I used to love you too. We ain't there anymore.
Yeah.
Bye."
Look, I'm not saying, like, it's Oscar-worthy, that song. It's not the best. But there's something sincere about it, at least. And it's definitely about a couple who's over, even if they don't want to acknowledge it.
His heart is as cold as the fireplace, bro. Because he won't give the Cratchits no coal.
But this is where we go back to, he goes back to his bed, sleeping with one eye open, gripping his pillow tight. And this is when the ghost of Christmas Present shows up, right?
Yeah, enter light.
Mr. Sandman.
Man me as sand. Bum 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 bum.
No, this is, what we got here is a song called It Feels Like Christmas, where it's just some sort of, like, generically festive Christmas song to me. I don't know. Just talking about, like, the spirit of Christmas, just for no good reason.
Look, giant Peter Jackson is jolly as hell. All right, just let him do his thing and roll out. All right.
That is fucking perfect. Giant Peter Jackson is exactly who this Muppet is, and I will have it no other way. Even though it would be played by Jack Black in today's day and age.
I just thought that was the same giant from Eureka's Castle.
Possibly, it's the same. Is that Jim Henson's thing?
Pretty sure.
I could have shared some designs, kind of like how a little bit of that one movie wound up in Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Clowns.
Oh, yeah, Killer Clowns.
Go watch that episode.
Yeah. Go watch both of them.
And also watch the one about Labyrinth, because some of the sets cross over there.
We haven't done Labyrinth.
You're just making shit up now.
We're just making up lore as we go.
You're the ghost of podcast future.
I am. We do too many podcasts. Like and subscribe. We love you.
Yep.
Well, the future's looking pretty dark. Maybe even dark as day.
And what I've got here for you today, this is from Embolden Beer Company. This is Dark as Day. This is a horchata golden milk stout. This is a collaboration with South Norte Brewworks out of San Diego, California. So this is described as a golden milk stout, but let me tell you, it is absolutely golden. This is not any color of a stout that I have ever seen before in my life. It smells dry and bready, but once you get a sip of it, you can absolutely taste that horchata spice. And it tastes like a stout. This is like Crystal Pepsi, y'all. And you've got that spice, that cinnamon, clove, whatever you get from horchata. This is pretty good. It's a little weird, but it's pretty good.
Speaking of little weird, but still pretty good, Kermit's walk cycle when he's got his little kid on his shoulder.
Oh,
This is my song, y'all. This little fucking scat bibbity bop boop that they're doing here.
Bing,
This
boom.
I'm about it because, man, this one got me like nodding my head. I was like, all right, this shit's going to fly off the handle. And then it was just over, and I got really sad because then Michael Caine shows up and is like, please, Ghost, what do I got to see now? And he's like, I'm going to show you how fucking sick and wicked the Cratchits are.
They're real poor, and Tiny Tim, I can't tell you this, but he's gonna die.
It does get pretty dark, and like the Christmas Carols is an American classic story. It's all the same, but like there is something specifically spooky about the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Oh yeah, dude. It's just like this vacant space in this hood, almost like an empty Reaper's hood, and these large purple arms with bulbous fingers, and it's always raining, so it has this crinkle shimmer effect to its robe. That thing looks fucking awesome. Now, would I say it looks terrifying in the sense of like terrifying? No.
Yes. No, that thing looks like a Death Eater or something.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, it doesn't have that shock ability, where you like, and then you run away. It kind of gives that, like, deep-seated, like, alone in the forest feeling kind of fear. Like, uh-oh, I shouldn't be here.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
This is like something that would pop up in Dark Souls and spook me out of my shit.
Michael Caine starts rolling around.
Just whipping him with his cane, but it's all just his robe.
I must kindle the fire.
But this is where we get, like, all the business pigs just laughing at his death, like, get a load of this dead-ass bitch.
They're roasting him pretty hard. I was loving it.
Even his nephew is roasting him. He's like, hey, what's big and brown and half a pound? A Ted? No, my dead Uncle Cratchit.
They're playing a game of Guess the Bastard.
I don't think there was any other choice. I think that's the same game they play every fucking year. They just do it just as like a little knife in the side.
Oh, who is it this year? Still Scrooge. Ah, you got it.
Humbug.
I think that was it, though. I think that was the moment where he knew he fucked up. He's just like, oh man, even he thinks I'm a shit. And all I did was be a shit.
You don't think it was Pepe the Prawn, like, buying his old shit, like a warm blanket, and people talking about, oh, well, that's the only warmth that he's ever felt, because he definitely ain't getting no pussy.
Ended his whole career.
Was Pepe a spider for this, like you said earlier? Because he had, like, extra legs, which were really cool, because he took the blanket with one hand, handed it to another leg, that handed it to another leg, which was fucking, to me, gross.
I don't know. Is there a spider in the original Christmas Carol?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the same one that Superman versus at the end of that one movie that was never made.
Oh, with Will Smith, right?
Oh, right. Now it's all wicked wild in here. Hell yeah.
I can't tell if you're lying or not. Anyway, so we also see old Tiny Tim. His grave is there. He's fucking dead, by the way. Things are dark.
Well, they didn't show Tiny Tim's grave. They showed Scrooge's own grave. And I guess that was when he was like, oh, man, I forgot I'm mortal.
This was a genuine, for me, I won't say emotional scene, but you definitely get, like, some poignant words from Kermit in his take on death. He was like, life has many meetings and many partings, and our family has experienced its first parting. And you're like, damn, that's pretty deep. And coming from a Muppet, it's weird, but at the same time, it kind of means more. I don't know. It's a weird moment. Cool scene, though.
Well, how about this? Like, to make it less weird and a little bit more poignant, that's Kermit the Frog saying that, and Jim Henson, during this movie production, had just passed away.
Did he die that early?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that. 92.
Yeah, so I always thought, like, not only was it Cratchit talking about old Tiny Jim or whatever, but, like, it was also about Jim Henson, which is, like, his creator.
Damn, that hit different. There's layers, like a bloomin' onion.
Like a Muppet bloomin' onion.
Man, I need one of those. Oh, the McRib is back. Do you guys know the McRib is back?
What if we just stop the show right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I just add some, like, slamming car doors and some screeches,
We'll meet up back here 20 minutes, and we'll all have McRibs.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Sponsor us.
Yes, that'd be a fucking sweet sponsor spot.
All right, so Scrooge wakes up the next morning and is like, shit, I can change my ways because I've got a McRib.
Oh, damn. Well, actually, you know what? He makes that little kid go get it for him. He just
Yeah, he
screams
does.
at a dude. He's like, "You over there, get me a McRib, you fuck." He's also Bronson.
Oh yeah. He opens up his window. The first person he sees is a child Muppet, and is like, "Hey, go get the biggest turkey you can find and take it to Frog Cratchit's house. He might not want visitors, but he's gonna get them because it's Christmas, damn it."
I
Right.
gotta make sure that kid eats because he's gonna die, and I'm gonna feel a way about it.
Right.
Make sure Tiny Tim gets to experience a McRib before he dies.
Yes, that's all this is. He's like, get the McRib and some Szechuan sauce. The kid's gotta know.
My money's on the sauce is too tangy and it kills him. I gotta hand it to Michael Caine or just Scrooge, whatever. Is that like he got super scared into changing his entire life over a nap, and he had, I don't know, the wit to bang on Cratchit's door and be like, "What's going on, mate? The fuck you doing not at work, huh? What's this shit?" And just starts basically roughhousing him. I think he had him in a headlock before he said, "Oops, prank, bro."
Yeah.
He's gonna start to give him a noogie or something.
Right.
Michael Caine looks at the camera. He's like, next up on Punked, we're gonna go to Kermit the Cratchit's house, and we're gonna fucking punk him. We're gonna make him think that he's getting fired, but then I'm gonna give him a turkey, and this kid's not gonna die. It's gonna be sweet.
It's gonna be sweet. Next week on Scrooged.
Yeah.
Screwed.
And like, you know, even on his way there, he stops and sees Beaker and Bunsen and is like, "Hey, guys, I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Put me down for a fuck ton of money." And they're like, "Yeah, have a scarf so you can be festive for the day."
Sir, he whispers in his ear that he is donating them the pool he got from Jaws.
Oh, beautiful. He hadn't seen the movie, but he saw the house that it paid for.
Absolutely.
The way he said that about the house is the same conviction that he brought to Scrooge, and I love it.
He is a professional.
Yep, absolutely. He starts handing out all these gift baskets to his workers, some fruit baskets to the homeless. He even takes some gifts to his nephews. He is a changed motherfucker.
I wonder if Tiny Tim wasn't even sick or hurt. He just like really needed something from Bath and Body Works.
Gotta get those White House candles or whatever it's called.
They were 3 for $20.
It's the gift baskets. It brought him back to life.
Yes.
I bet he was hoping for one of those sausage gift baskets from Hillshire Farms or whatever it's called.
That's fucked up. You know his mom's a pig, bro. Come on.
It's okay. It's
Right.
beef. It's a beef sausage.
Humbug.
There's some adorable moments. I can't lie. There's like some questions that came up that made me super interested. Like, is a poop alive in the Muppetverse? There is a undeniable charm to anything made by Jim Henson's Creature Factory. There is an undeniable festive atmosphere to this movie. Anytime for me a Muppet was Muppeting, I was on board 110%, would watch again. I just gotta say, I think even though it was a brilliant way to deliver exposition, I just wasn't a big fan of the songs for this one, aside from, you know, Kermit and Tiny Tim's walking bebop thingy. But for a Christmas film, I could see this being great for generations. It aged phenomenally well. Even the flying scene with Scrooge still is beyond passable. So if you're out there and you want that warm, fuzzy Christmas, show this to your child. They're probably going to love it.
From what I've learned today, if you're not into the whole existential question of existence between Muppets and people, this probably isn't for you. But I love this movie. It's one of my absolute favorites. There's something just like effortlessly wholesome and charming about the whole thing. I know there's like a million different versions of this. I don't know why it works so well, but man, this is it for me. Recommended.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this was my first go around with a Muppets anything, really, and this was pretty enjoyable. I'm not in love with it, but overall, it was fine. Michael Caine has a standout performance, as does Kermit the Frog. I wanted more Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. I wanted more Animal, but you know, it is what it is. Rizzo the Rat does work. Gonzo does work. It all turns out pretty well. I might watch this again next Christmas. We'll see.
Well, there you have it. That was The Muppets Christmas Carol. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in that comment section below.
make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to bash that little bell icon or whatever you've got so you don't ever miss what we've got brewing up for you next.
Get out there and follow us on social medias. You can find us on YouTube and anywhere podcasts are available. Give us a shot. We're pretty funny sometimes. And if you sit down on a nice Christmas Eve and you tune into a show, maybe you too can go forth and know us better, man.
Humbug.